So recently, New Balance filed a lawsuit against men's fashion brand Steve Madden for a blatant ripoff of their Concepts Cranberry 327 collaboration. This recent news got me thinking of the various sneaker knockoffs in the world, and specifically with New Balance. So in this video, I wanted to go over 5 really crazy New Balance knockoff shoes. So let's start off the video with the shoe that gave me the idea for this video, and that is the Steve Madden Chasin. As I already said, this is an obvious ripoff of the 327, specifically the Concepts Cranberry collab. All the colors are exactly the same, the shape is almost exactly the same. The only thing that's missing is an N logo, but even then, it's pretty obvious what this shoe is trying to mock. And it's really pathetic how Steve Madden actually has a pretty bad track record of knocking off various shoes from various brands. Like, I think in 2019, they actually had a shoe that basically knocked off 2 popular Air Jordan 1 collaborations, specifically the Off-White Chicago and the Brown Travis Scott one. I'll flash some images of those up as well. Again, they were from Steve Madden, pretty blatant ripoffs, and it's pretty pathetic that a pretty well-known brand is just easily knocking off brands left and right. Next up, we have New Barlin. So New Barlin was a Chinese shoe brand that basically ripped off New Balance in almost every way imaginable, from the shoes to the logo to the name. I mean, we got NB New Balance, NB New Barlin, like they weren't even trying. The shoes straight up had the New Balance N logo, and as you can see in this picture, which is the highlight picture of this crazy lawsuit that thankfully New Balance won back in 2020, it basically was a direct ripoff of the 996 and other various classic New Balance runners from that era. It's a pretty pathetic attempt at a company, let alone the actual sneaker design itself, and it's a good thing New Balance was able to get the company shut down. And next up, we have the Skechers OG90. What would a sneaker ripoff video be without Skechers? I mean, Skechers rips off plenty of companies and plenty technologies left and right, whether that be Nike Air, Adidas Springblade, or various New Balance models like the OG90, which is a very obvious knockoff of the New Balance 580. The 580 hasn't been in production for a while, but it was pretty popular back when it was in production, so obviously Skechers decided to capitalize on the popularity and directly rip off the model, and instead of the N logo, you get the Skechers S logo. Now, Skechers has been a part of a variety of sneaker ripoffs from various brands and have had multiple lawsuits against them, and it's pretty crazy how many different brands they knock off, including Nike, Adidas, and New Balance, and even Hoka recently with some of their new running shoes. I don't know why Skechers keeps on doing this. It's pretty obvious that they're ripping off brands, and it's kind of sad to see an American company doing this, where you usually see various Chinese companies do it. And next up, we have the Karl Lagerfeld New Balance ripoff. I'm not 100% sure about the name of this ripoff model, but it's very clearly a ripoff of vintage New Balance models, like models from the 70s, and it's even reminiscent of some of their 80s and 90s runners. But regardless, as you can probably tell, it's a direct ripoff of New Balance's branding. Instead of an N logo, it's a K logo, and it's also in that slanted font. And it's a real pathetic attempt at ripping off New Balance, and it's pretty sad that a big high fashion brand is ripping off a sportswear brand when they could be creating their own original ideas. And last but definitely not least, we have the Louis Vuitton Minstrel. As you can see from the pictures, the Minstrel is a very obvious copy of the iconic 574. And it's actually very reminiscent of this Unending Edition 574, because at least Louis Vuitton didn't decide to knock off the N logo and instead just put a subtle LV logo onto the side of the panel in the same colored suede. But in 2009, when this model was revealed, New Balance fought against LV, and they managed to get the model pulled from production and sales, which is great because it's a very pathetic attempt to rip off the iconic 574. It's very interesting interesting looking at the various knockoffs of New Balance models, and it really varies. It varies from cheap brands like Skechers all the way to high fashion brands like LV and Karl Lagerfeld, and recently that very blatant ripoff from Steve Madden. I think it's really sad and pathetic that brands are knocking off New Balance and other sportswear brands. So what did you guys think of the knockoffs in this list? Did I miss any other significant knockoffs from the past or recently? Let me know down in the comments. So that's gonna do it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Follow me on my socials. Thank you to all my Patreon backers. Check out the Intelligent site for more New Balance guides and content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.